Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Data Cloud Now. Hot off the press, Snowflake has released Cortex AI for financial services and a managed MCP server. To dive into this release, I'm delighted to be joined by Baris Gultekin, Vice President of AI at Snowflake, along with Johnna Powell, Managing Director, Technology Research and Innovation at DTCC. Such a pleasure to sit down with both of you here today.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Looking forward to diving in. Baris, to start, it's an exciting next chapter for the AI Data Cloud. Why was now the pivotal time for these releases, and how will it serve to supercharge Snowflake's financial services ecosystem?
Financial services industry is at the forefront of innovation, and they also face unique challenges. There is strong regulation, really important to have strong governance for financial services. And of course, you need to have very high quality AI to be effective. So what we've been looking at is we wanted to bring, with Cortex AI next to data, to start to address some of these challenges. Today, we're launching Cortex for Financial Services, as well as a managed MCP server offering for all the use cases. It includes a series of partnerships with data providers, which is really important for financial services industry. The companies like NASDAQ, FactSet, Washington Post, and Investopedia, for instance, are partners that provide data that is AI ready to be building agents that can then be used to plug into any client that supports MCP. And we're also putting all of our products together as a solution for financial services industry, again, to address the life cycle of data and AI, from processing the data to getting it ready for AI, building agents, and deploying it for business users.
It's wonderful to hear, Baris, and it's a pleasure to be joined by one of our customers in DTCC. For over 50 years, DTCC has been the premier post-trade market infrastructure for the global financial services industry, processing security transactions in the quadrillions annually. Johnna, how will this latest suite of AI offerings from Snowflake allow DTCC to stay at the forefront of innovation?
Well, Ryan, thanks for having me. And as you rightly said, DTCC processes quadrillions of dollars worth of securities transactions per year. And if you were to translate that into daily transactions, that's actually trillions of dollars of daily transactions on a day-to-day basis, right? So it's impactful. And I think it puts DTCC in a quite unique position within the market, in that we have access, just by virtue of the massive unrivaled amounts of volume that we transact and process on a day-to-day basis. We are essentially a center point and source for capital markets information within the US. And so I think as we're thinking about staying ahead of the AI frontier and in the front of AI innovation, we've got a number of things that we're thinking about. And of course, just being kind of that central point of data, as all of us know, data is a critical enabler of AI and AI innovation, right? So one of the important endeavors that we're working on is building an end-to-end AI tech stack that is going to be providing foundational capabilities across the board, across our enterprise. So this is going to be modular, it's going to be scalable, it's going to be flexible, and ideally as future-proof as possible. And probably most importantly, interoperable, and also have, and encompass the right risk and responsible AI governance and data controls, right? And so that's where Snowflake's suite of capabilities come in. So when we think about MCP, that's essentially unlocking agentic interoperability. And, when we think about that from a DTCC perspective, we can leverage our data and tools and actually enable them to, be productive in multi-agent workflows. And when we think about Snowflake Cortex, what I love about that is it democratizes AI across so many different personas. So people who do not necessarily have these niche, highly, complex technical skill sets, such as SQL querying, they can just use natural language, processing to glean really important insights within their data. So we're really excited about that. And that, I think, is going to be a key foundational component of what we're building.
It's wonderful to hear. Great insight. Thank you so much. And Baris, there's been a lot of buzz in the industry about MCP and its potential to help companies get enterprise-grade AI agents into production faster. And can you walk us through why MCP is pivotal at this moment in the AI era, and how Snowflake's MCP server will benefit our customers in the wider industry as a whole?
Yeah, and as Johnna mentioned, interoperability is really important for companies. So what we wanted to do is to be able to enable our customers to build agents that are using the data that is on Snowflake without having that data leave that governed, secure perimeter, but be able to plug that into any client that supports MCP. So what MCP enables is the ability to get context from data and then pass it to an LLM in a standardized format. So it is like a USB-C for your data, essentially for AI, where rather than having to build, one-off connectors for every single data source, we standardize using this open protocol. And the benefit of the Snowflake hosted MCP server is that it handles all of that in a managed way, so that we handle authentication, we handle all of the hosting, and all of that processing. So it's super easy to build an agent and to plug it into your clients, such as an OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Anthropic client, or Cursor, or any other that supports MCP servers.
It's wonderful to hear. And as we all know, the financial services industry has long been governed by some of the strictest regulatory and data security protocols. And in today's ever-increasing, evolving landscape, how do these advancements further position Snowflake's easy, connected, and trusted platform as the industry standard for financial services? And what do these releases look like in practice? Johnna, would love your thoughts.
Yeah, so you hit on a really important point, and DTCC is arguably one of the most highly regulated institutions in the world. And so, what you're going to hear from financial markets infrastructure is that they need connectivity, they need governance, they need trust, and that's all got to be by design, right? So with Cortex, you have AI capabilities that are built directly on DTCC and Snowflake governed data. And with MCP, what that enables is essentially interoperability with open ecosystems such that you can connect with, open agents. And so, what does that mean practically? If we were to think about that and take that down to the DTCC level and, think about a persona, a risk analyst at DTCC could potentially be looking at a bunch of documents of unstructured data and put in just a natural language prompt to better understand the data, to potentially have triggers to do some kind of a workflow, right? And what Cortex Analyst then does is it translates that into SQL. It then leverages Cortex Search across documents, and then potentially triggers a ServiceNow action, or potentially triggers a Jira request and opens a Jira service, and then takes all of this and then alerts the analyst as to what they want to do next, right? So that's a very simple, kind of wonderful way we're thinking about leveraging all of these technologies. And just to go a little bit broader around some of the things that we've done to leverage Snowflake Cortex capabilities, was we just launched into production about 6 months to a year ago, Insights IQ, or IIQ. And essentially what that is a multi-agent orchestration platform that enables our relationship managers to glean insights and actually derive actionable client insights, such that they can better serve our clients. Another workflow that we're looking at is drastically reducing the manual efforts for reporting. So one example is we're leveraging Snowflake tools, Snowflake Cortex in particular, to drive down, in one example, an effort that takes 6 hours for 2 FTEs. Now it takes minutes. And that's extensible across so many different departments across DTCC. So that's just a couple of examples, but we're seeing massive improvements in productivity and efficiency with Snowflake tools.
Johnna, great insights and perspective. Thank you. Baris, in an industry riddled with competition, gaining the competitive edge is essential. What's one piece of advice you'd both like to offer executives in relation to agentic AI in order for them to stay at the forefront versus getting left behind? Baris, why don't we start with you?
We like saying there's no AI strategy without a data strategy. And that is increasingly so. As agents become more and more capable and more complex, getting data right, getting the access controls right, reducing the data silos becomes increasingly important. So investing in that data foundation first, investing in the governance first, is really important for agents. We provide a strong set of governance capabilities for agents, from data layer all the way up to agent role-based access controls. And that is the one place that I'd say, focusing on that is incredibly important.
Great advice. And Johnna, anything you'd like to add?
I would echo a lot of what Baris just said, but I would say, look, you've got to start now. If you're not starting now, you're already behind. And I would recommend interoperability and governance as first principles, and start with workflows that can be compounded in value and that are also aligned across business stakeholders around this being a really critical problem, so you can show early on what the success of your initiatives will be. Think about KPIs, clearly define KPIs, measure those KPIs, in an objective way. So, I think that's one key component. And I think the second key component, which is critical, is your people strategy, right? Whatever, powerful AI tools you're going to have are not going to be anywhere near as powerful if you don't have the people who understand how to run them and who are upskilled and have all of the right tools, training, and so on at their fingertips. So, think about your tooling strategy, think about your training strategy, think about, incentives, and work closely with HR to implement all of those factors so that you can set yourself up for success.
Great perspective and insights. And I realize we've covered a lot. It's an exciting next chapter, but what's next for Snowflake and DTCC and holistically the financial service industry as a whole? John, I would love your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think maybe starting from Snowflake, I would love to see additional continued work in integrated agentic AI, in open semantic interoperability. That's going to be, a critical component for us in our partnership that we're really excited about. I think with DTCC, we're obviously going to continue upskilling our workforce. We're going to continue advancing our, key priority use cases into production. We're going to continue building out DTCC IQ, which is our end-to-end tech stack, with MCP interoperability and interconnectivity with data governance layers and so on, to enable our employees to be able to accelerate the process from POC all the way through to production, to really embed insights into production workflows. And I think thinking more broadly about the industry, as we think about 2025 to 2027, I think there's going to be a real inflection point going from just general, agentic AI to full production agentic AI workflows and systems in production. And I think, we're going to see unstructured data and insights within unstructured data be unlocked at an unprecedented level. We're going to see productivity improvements unlocked, efficiency improvements unlocked. And I think the winners, in the next couple of years are going to be those who, are taking a careful, controlled approach, but also ambitious approach toward, making strides in getting agentic workflows in production. And they will be the ones who are able to articulate their ROI, measure their ROI, and also include humans in the loop for key critical decisions.
And Baris, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so very much building on what Johnna is saying, we're very committed to open standards, and the recognition that semantic information that the company has is incredibly important for these agents to have high quality. So we've announced our open semantic interchange initiative, and we'll be continuing to invest in that so that all the semantic model capabilities that are built are interchangeable with all the providers, and that just makes AI a lot more capable on the data that our customers have. And then, of course, continuing to build out agentic capabilities so that the agents are increasingly more and more capable. We're seeing the world of BI change, from going from a kind of structured set of unchanging dashboards to an interactive experience where you can just immediately ask questions and democratize access to all the data. We're seeing Snowflake Intelligence really resonate with our customers by making agent creation super easy and very highly accurate. We're super excited to double down on that space and make that available for our customers.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.